Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another weekly Wednesday live stream. I'm Peter.
I'm Eric.
And of course you know him. And today we're going to be talking about something that, well, I want to say we ever talked about before, but we did. Because this product has been announced before, obviously. But what is new is that we actually have not one, but two in the studio. And I'll tell you the reason why we have two later on. But yeah, we're going to be looking at our first ever gaming routers. Of course, we have the top of the line model here that we are going to unbox, and I'm going to set it up, show you how that's done, take you through the options, also of course show you the exterior of the device itself. So yeah, hope you guys are up for that.
I'm a bit distracted because I need to fix some things on YouTube and I want to try to stream on TikTok as well. So
we're trying some new things, obviously.
Yeah. Well, first fix all things because we are streaming to the wrong live stream. We're not streaming to the scheduled live stream on YouTube.
Yeah, something went wrong there. Anyway, okay, so yeah, thank you all for joining. Also, we have a giveaway today, of course. So as you can see here over my shoulder, today we're giving away multiple Steam wallet codes. Always nice to have. It's basically, you can see it as a discount for your favorite game or DLC or whatever you want to buy. And yeah, we'll be giving away a couple of them during the live stream. Our chatbot should be sharing the link every 5 minutes on YouTube and Twitch. The other platforms, if you're watching the stream on other platforms and you don't see the giveaway code, the Gleam link being shared every 5 minutes, probably best to watch our live stream on either YouTube or Twitch. If not for the quality, the image quality, then to make sure you don't miss out the link. Yeah, so let's get going.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Where do I want to start? Well, maybe it is good to kind of show, because we have more than one product that we launched last week, I believe it was.
So yeah, last week Thursday evening.
Yes,
European
our
time.
Yes, our time. Correct.
So morning LA time.
Yes, yeah, and very late in the evening, pretty much
Taipei
midnight in Taipei, in China. Yeah, so, okay, but yeah, we have multiple products. Yeah, if you go to, yeah, that's right. So this is the one that we have actually in the studio, which is the RadiX AXE 6600 router, which is a Wi-Fi 6E tri-band gaming router. But we also have the RadiX AX 6600, which is a Wi-Fi 6 tri-band gaming router. So the difference there is the AXE model is Wi-Fi 6E. We'll get to that a little bit later. I'll try to explain, because it is quite complicated for people who are not into this kind of stuff, to tell you what the difference is. But yeah, there is a difference, and of course you can also see this router in comparison to the one that we have here. It does not have the RGB in the antennas, so that's also an easy way of noticing the difference. Other than that, a lot of the functionalities, features are similar, are the same. So it's mostly the difference Wi-Fi 6 and 6E, and RGB and no RGB. Those are the main differences. Yeah, I also see a lot of people already saying, yeah, Wi-Fi 7 is around the corner. Yes, but it wasn't even that long ago. I think it was somewhere last year that, for example, the governing bodies in Europe, for example, or in other places of the world, they had to kind of make this decision of which bands of 6 gigahertz, which is the new thing in Wi-Fi 6E, are allowed. So Wi-Fi 7 is probably, yes, the technology is available, but in terms of how it's being adopted, I think even a lot of people don't even have Wi-Fi 6 or 6E yet. So yes, it will be here quite soon, but I don't think it will be that common very soon.
Yeah, you also have to keep in mind the cost, because if you know a little bit about these routers, I just moved homes, and then you want to have good Wi-Fi coverage in your home, and you need to consider, are you going to Wi-Fi 6, 6E, or maybe even Wi-Fi 5, or 7,
can also
and
still work.
You know, each step the costs are really increasing a lot.
And then even within that, if you have made that choice, there's still a choice, like, do you want an entry-level router? Do you want a mid-range, or, you know, the best of the best? Do you want mesh, or is it a single router good enough? There's a lot of decisions to make there if you have to make that. And for most people, it's probably a case of, you know, indeed, like, I moved house and I need a new router because my old one I had to leave with my ISP or whatever. And in some countries, the ISPs, I heard France actually, the ISPs give really good routers with your internet connection. So really, there's not a whole lot of sense in replacing it, but you could have maybe an additional one as an access point or whatever. But in a lot of countries also, the routers that are delivered with the ISP are, basically as cheap as they can get away with, because it's just a cost factor, and the other ISPs aren't really pushing the boundaries either. So then there's no need for them to do it.
Yeah. I think in Holland, since last year they have a law that you can choose your own router if you want to.
Yeah. So it's quite recently that they even allowed it, or it's allowed by law that they have to allow you to replace the router they provide with one of your own.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends. Some people they want the speed. There's other benefits as well, like Wi-Fi 5 to 6 and even 6E, but more Wi-Fi 5 to 6 already. Just imagine the amount of devices you already have in your home. It used to be maybe you had your phone in the early days and a laptop, and then what else was Wi-Fi connected? Not a whole lot. But these days, like the Internet of Things, everything, even your fridge can be connected if you want it. But also smart lighting, security cameras. Everybody has a phone. If you live with multiple people or you have a family, everybody has a phone, a tablet maybe. You've got smart speakers, you've got casting devices. I mean, the amount of the average amount of Wi-Fi connected devices in a typical household has exploded, and so Wi-Fi 5 and especially 6 has been really more about facilitating that any device or router, for example, can also handle more devices at the same time. To facilitate that, basically.
I think nowadays reliability is also much more important, because I know, when I moved houses, I needed to set up the router, etc. So there was some downtime, and directly I hear the kids complaining. Basically, everybody's complaining. I cannot game, or I cannot watch YouTube, or.
Yeah, honestly, I had the same similar thing lately. Indeed, when you don't know how much you're depending on your connection until it drops out, or for some reason indeed you don't have a connection for a while, and then you're like, oh crap, I need it because I want to check something or whatever. Of course, maybe you've got mobile data, on your phone or something, but still. I was in a meeting, work meeting recently, and then in the middle of the meeting, just the connection dropped here in the office. It can happen.
Are we going to play a game?
No, not that I know of.
No, because Switch is asking a game.
Yeah, I know. I also didn't really know what to put there, because unfortunately today no games. But anyway, it's quite important, and also it really depends on what is important for you. Like, do you want mesh? So that's basically that you have in your whole house. It's one big network, and everything switches automatically, like your phone. You don't have to do it manually. Or do you want, like, is speed the most important thing, or customizability? A lot of people, especially if you're going to replace your ISP router with your own router, probably you'll want to change some settings, and so it's quite important to know what you can change, what you cannot do. So yeah, indeed. And I'm going to show you a lot of these things today. And apart from 2 routers, which we launched last week, we also launched this thing. So the AX1800 Wi-Fi USB adapter. I had never even thought about this, but this is quite a clever thing, because if you have like an older laptop or something you're using for work purposes or whatever, but either the Wi-Fi is broken, or you think it's too slow, or stuff happens. This is just a way that you can just instantly, by plugging it into the USB port, instantly you've upgraded that machine to Wi-Fi 6 capabilities. So this is a Wi-Fi 6 USB adapter. And it also even comes with, as you can see, kind of an external cradle that you can put it into, and then there's a cable of, I don't know, probably about 2 meters or something, braided cable that you can connect, so that you can put it like further away from your PC or laptop to, well, for either for better reception, because maybe if you put it somewhere else the reception better, or if at least to get it out of the way, because for a laptop a lot of the USB ports are on the side, and if you're using a mouse, then I mean this thing isn't that small. It's kind of like a USB, a large USB stick, let's say, but it has a foldable antenna, as you can see. So yeah, it's also nice to kind of keep it out of the way of where you're moving your mouse. So yeah. Wi-Fi USB adapters, are they coming back? Yeah, I remember they used to be more of a thing in the past, but again, there are a lot of scenarios where people just want a bit of faster Wi-Fi, or again, you know, if something happens to the Wi-Fi module on your laptop or netbook or Chromebook or whatever you have, you know, this is great to use.
Also, it makes sense because not all notebooks are upgradable with the latest Wi-Fi devices, because the port is different, but also the antennas. For the latest Wi-Fi standards, you need good antennas, and normally in notebooks they're either on the edges, and maybe some use one antenna or two antennas, and the latest standards sometimes need even 3 antennas. So it's not a matter of that your notebook is always easy upgradable. So this kind of things is just plug and play and it works.
And it's dual band as well, this one, so it can use both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. So you still have, you know, 2.4 gigahertz. It has better range. It's slower in speed, but it's still fine for light surfing or work if you need it, not big downloads or streaming. And then you have 5 gigahertz for the faster speeds if you need it. So it's quite nice. Or even older desktops. Need Action Brother is also saying it. Older desktops that don't have Wi-Fi, and you find yourself, you know, not wanting to run the network cables to that thing, or not being able to do that, then this is a quick, easy solution to let you still access the internet if you have a good wireless system set up. So yeah. Right then, some things to get out of the way basically. When it comes to the latest Wi-Fi technologies, so Wi-Fi 6 for example, there are a couple of technologies, I've got some of them back here, but there are more. That are quite deep and technical if you want to get into it, but basically they allow for things like OFDMA, for example, allows for things, you can look at it like asynchronous computing. What it allows for is like the data streams that you have there. It used to be that they can only handle one package for a single device at a time, let's say, right? So that means if you have 4 lanes or 4 things available for communication lines, and you have 4 devices, then each of them, when you send a packet, that's all they can do, and then they can't communicate to other devices. What this allows it to do is to basically pack all these communication lanes with various bits of traffic for various different devices that are connected. So basically it just uses the available bandwidth a whole lot better. MU-MIMO stands for multiple units. So basically, it's got to do with having that more devices at the same time to be servicing and connected to that router. It's also a term that's been around for a while. You also have SU-MIMO, which is more like single user. So yeah, this is really aimed at vastly expanding the amount of devices that is this device is able to simultaneously service with good connections. Again, think about things like you know, smart lights, smart speakers, Chromecasts, or what have you. You know, all these wireless devices. Some of them, you know, they only need a very tiny amount of data every now and again. You know, they just ping the server and that's it. And others need constant, like a streaming device, if it's 4K for example, it needs constant huge amounts of data being loaded to it, so that's quite a bit more intensive. And you have things like 1024 QAM or QAM, I don't know what the normal way is to pronounce it. You have other versions of this with lower numbers, like 256 QAM, and basically every version that this is the latest one basically, and this is also about packing more data into the same stream. So the previous versions basically were able to pack a little bit less data into the same stream. So it's all about efficiency. So this all these things combine into basically these are Wi-Fi 6 technologies that allow Wi-Fi 6 to be a whole lot more efficient and fast and service a whole lot more devices at the same time compared to Wi-Fi 5. And it also depends on a lot of things depends on your environment. Because I see some people already saying like words like congested and you know, stuff like that. Basically, that's saying, look, if you were living in an apartment building or you know, your neighbors are at least really close and everybody has their own router, there's only a certain amount of channels available until everything starts overlapping and pushing other signals away. So basically then you're competing about on the same kind of area, and that's going to influence your Wi-Fi range, but also the performance. So that's a bit good to know. But if you're like in the middle of nowhere and there's no Wi-Fi, no interference, no you know, radars of an air like a you know weather station, you know, like a cloud radar or anything, or an airport radar, because that will really cause issues as well. But also no other people nearby that have their own Wi-Fi signals. Your basically the performance of your router will be much better, and the range as well, because there's nothing really influencing it. And it's even influenced, a question I hear a lot about, and I asked myself as well when I was looking for a new router recently, was, so what is the range? And there's no clear answer. I mean, you can do tests in an open field, and that's nice, but that's not what you're going to get in your home, because the Wi-Fi signal will have to penetrate, you know, if you have different rooms, for example, it will have to penetrate things like walls or windows, and especially if you have good insulation, like, you know, those insulating windows and stuff, that's really a signal killer, let's say. So, or even concrete floors that it has to go through, for example, that's going to stop the signal pretty fast. So a lot of these things really influence your experience when it comes to routers. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of things. I don't really want to touch too much on those things, but just know that there are a lot of variables other than what we're highlighting today. And yeah, if you have a fiber connection, by the way, so I see some people saying something about 1 gig fiber connections. Yeah, those are great. I've also had one for quite a while, and I mean, that just makes everything really easy. So I mentioned the channels a little bit, and I just want to highlight this. It can be a bit overwhelming, but I hope it's still kind of clear from the slide. But what we have here is on the left side, that really small sliver of yeah, basically the 2.4 gigahertz band. As you can see here, what that is, this was one of the first Wi-Fi signals that we had, basically. This has great range, so it's still used, by the way, for a lot of devices that are not data intensive, but like smart speakers, for example. A lot of
IoT.
Yeah, IoT devices.
I put all my smart devices on this band and nothing else.
Yeah, because they don't need the speed, but they do benefit greatly from the range and stability. But what you see here is like each of these cones are represent a channel of 20 megahertz. So basically the 2.4 gigahertz sphere, let's say, or signal, allows for 3 20 megahertz bands, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't, but it was fine when you only had like maybe 1 or 2 phones and a laptop in your home that occasionally was on. And those those 3 could combine, actually those 2 could combine into a 40 megahertz band, and that would be then a little bit faster. Because the higher the megahertz, basically you can see that as like a great analogy that I read about and that I heard is like, look at them like lanes on a road. So each of these cones basically can represent a lane on a road. So you have here 3 lanes of 20 megahertz, or it would be a single lane of 40 megahertz, which is a broader lane which can handle more traffic, or let's say heavier vehicles like a lorry instead of just a passenger car. But it's still just one. And if we go then into the 5 gigahertz sphere, what you see here is that it's already a massive improvement in terms of the number of channels available on 20 megahertz. Also in terms of 40 megahertz, you go from 1 to, what is this, about 10, no more even, 12? Yeah, 12 channels. So that's big already. And then you have 80 megahertz, which was new for the 5 gigahertz sphere. Which again was faster, so you get more traffic, and that's more for things like streaming or downloading. It's quite useful. So that's
So
really
question from Neil on YouTube, assuming that Wi-Fi 6 is only connectable with new devices. Yes.
No. Wi-Fi 6 has actually been around for a little while. So even, I mean, I have
Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, I have a,
Yeah.
well, I have
Actually, you should
an
say
S21, S2021, yeah, sorry, S21 Ultra, Samsung, for example. And that one already not just supports Wi-Fi 6, but even Wi-Fi 6E.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, sure, granted, back in the day when this thing came out, it was one of the top-end flagship things. So, not all phones back then supported it, but I think it's widely supported, yeah. So even your older phone, there's a good chance it still supports Wi-Fi 6.
Depends how old it is.
Yeah.
And what price segment.
Yeah, but you can easily check that in the specs of your phone as well. Anyway, so, I mean, the point is, 5 gigahertz, it was already a massive leap in terms of the number of channels available, but also the number of channels that would combine into a much broader lane, let's say, or channel. So on the 160 megahertz, that's the big thing now. Those are the fastest channels that you can have. 5 gigahertz, basically, well, there's two channels available on the fastest lane. So then it still becomes restrictive, and there you can really see that we're moving towards, we need that speed for our devices that you download, you game on, you stream on, but then you kind of run into limits again. So if you're looking at 20 megahertz, 5 gigahertz channel it's already, there are so many channels available, it almost seems like you're never going to run out. But as soon as they converge into those fast channels, they have to converge there, you're left with only 2, which is kind of restrictive, and then that's where 6 gigahertz comes in. So that's on this side, and you can see that one is even far wider than 5 gigahertz. So it's basically 3 times the spectrum versus Wi-Fi 6. And why I say Wi-Fi 6 is 5 gigahertz. This is a bit confusing. 5 gigahertz is basically Wi-Fi 6. I mean, 5 gigahertz channels, yeah, that's also used in Wi-Fi 6. The 6 gigahertz channel is Wi-Fi 6E. So that's the E part. It's Wi-Fi 6 extended. That's what the E stands for. But yeah, you can see there's 59 channels of 20 megahertz and 29 channels of 40, etc. But the big thing is, for the fastest tracks, so the 160 megahertz, you now have 7 channels instead of just 2. And it's not just, this is where things like dual band and tri-band come in. So our router is tri-band, which means that it's not just saying, oh, I replaced that 2.4 and 5 gigahertz band with the 6 gigahertz band, so I only have that 6 gigahertz left. No, it's basically on top of it. So it still has all the channels available from 2.4 gigahertz and from 5 gigahertz, but it then adds that 6 gigahertz frequency, basically, those channels. And that's really the big thing.
So Neil did some Googling and his device is capable of Wi-Fi 6.
Hey, there you go. I'm not surprised. I mean, if unless your phone is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old or something.
Yeah.
Depending on the make, but still, it's quite likely to support Wi-Fi 6, let's say. Anyway. But yeah, so it's really fast, and as you can see, there's still a difference, because there's like the really wide part there that says the 3 times spectrum, the 1200 megahertz. That's what the US and Korea, at least at the time of making this slide, it might have changed by now, this was sometime last year. But they support basically all those channels. Unfortunately for us, we're located in Europe, the Netherlands. Europe has kind of they've limited the channels, at least for now. Not sure why. I think it's more to do with the
because it's Europe.
Yeah, the rules and stuff, but also they want to reserve some channels for, I don't know, safety things. And anyway, so unfortunately in Europe we're getting 3 extra channels of 160 megahertz instead of 7. So unfortunately we don't get all. But who knows? Maybe in the future this will be expanded. And I mean, those 3 bands added on, that's 5 in total. So that's already a hell of a lot better than just having 2.
Yeah.
So that's what Wi-Fi 6E brings to the table.
So, long technical story.
Yes.
Short version, it's faster.
Yes. Later on, we're also going to be looking at this. This is the PCB, the inside of the router. But I think maybe it's better to look at the outside first. So, yeah, let's maybe go to the close-up view then. Eric?
Well, you want to do an unboxing?
Yeah, because it's in the box right now. So.
Yeah, then you need to close up.
See if I can do this for you guys. So yeah, really nice box as well, as you can see. Name is on there, of course.
Hey, Peter, good news. We're live on TikTok.
Hey,
I just don't see any comments in the chat. Maybe
hello.
I still need to fix something.
Welcome everybody on TikTok. So yeah, there's a lot of things on here. Of course, you can see it's a tri-band. It's got a quad-core processor and stuff like that. On the back, there's more information. So if you find this in a store, there's a whole lot of stuff you can.
So basically, this router might have a faster CPU
than some of
in your phone.
Yeah, maybe. Well, actually, I mean, quad-core phones. That's already been for quite a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's show you the inside because it's an unboxing, right? So when you open the box, you get the text of the name of our router series, RadiX, and there's like
Who came up with the name
layer.
RadiX?
Sorry?
Who came up with the name?
A lot of people.
A lot of people agree.
Well, I don't know who came up with it, but I mean, we had like always, the way that works is you get like a lot of list of names, and then people vote on it in the company. It's like a democracy, like a little election, I guess. And then this one got elected, let's say. So inside here, there's the actual router, and as you can see, the antennas have a little bit of protection around them. I think mostly to protect against maybe dust or something. I don't know.
Or against Eric.
Against Eric, indeed.
Yeah.
That's anti-Eric foam. Sorry, anti-Eric protection. Yeah, so you can take it out then. If you ever want to put it back in, by the way, you have to really pay attention to how the antenna are folded. Otherwise, you won't be able to fit it back in. So I'm going to remove the
This is quite a nice touch because a lot of brands don't have the antennas attached.
Yeah, I was going to say that indeed. A lot of brands indeed, they have the antennas separately in the box, and you kind of have to, like either push them in, they have some kind of mechanism, or screw them in place, like. But these indeed are already pre-attached. All you have to do is basically just fold them out like this, and then rotate them a bit, and point them upwards, like that. But it's really easy.
Whoa,
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, so really nice device. It's again, looks are personal.
And yes, people.
Whenever I saw this, I thought Lamborghini, but I'm not sure.
That's RGB. So
yeah, there is
faster.
RGB indeed. So it's it's in these antennas, as you can see here. We'll show that later on as well when it's powered. But these are LEDs in the antennas, and this button here, actually, this is a button, by the way. This is also lit up by RGB. Some status indicators here for various things like internet ports 1 to 4 and power. Yes, these are buttons, so you can actually, there's one button that says LED off. I'll show you what that does later on, but I mean, the name kind of says it. Also Wi-Fi, so basically there's like a button that instantly can enable or disable Wi-Fi in case you don't want to use it.
I need this for my kids.
Yeah,
if they're not listening.
No. We've got other stuff for you in the management software tools for you with your kids. That's way easier.
Cool.
And you can even access that from your phone. Little spoiler. And a WPS. So this is Wi-Fi protected setup. So basically also it's like see it like a pairing button if you're in that process of setting up a Wi-Fi protected setup.
That's really useful because
yes.
On some devices it's really difficult to connect.
Yep.
With this button, just click it, and
yes.
then for a certain period you can connect with other devices.
Yeah, indeed. So as you can see, there are 6 antennas. You can count them. There is, I'm not sure if you can really see this clearly, but these are ventilation holes below that, and there is a bit of space underneath it. But there's a lot of ventilation going on also here. This is open, it's not just for show. Here underneath, ventilation holes, here are ventilation holes, and you can already see a little bit about the cooling system shining through there. There's some shiny parts. This router actually uses heat pipes, and if we're lucky and we hurry up a little bit, I hope I'm able to open one up for you, a router, so we can actually see it on the inside. Then the back end is of course the business part. The power plug, here you go, power button, on, off, and it really is a button, like it goes in when it's on, basically, it's not just a toggle. USB port, this is for file sharing on this network, so it's not for outside of this network. You can't access it from the internet from another location, but it is useful for sharing files within your network. A 2.5 gigabit LAN and WAN port, so basically you can switch this to house your internet connection or connect one of your really fast devices to it. And these four are gigabit connectors, and then this one is also basically a LAN or WAN port. Basically, so if you say this one shouldn't do the WAN, which is the internet gateway, you can assign this one to handle it for you. And so this one is only, let's say, useful at the moment if you have, or useful, but really to use this speed, 2.5 Gbps, gigabit per second, if you have a faster than a gigabit connection, which I mean, some people may have it, but I think especially if you know your home situation, there won't be that many people to have a faster than a gigabit connection. So you would be fine with a gigabit connection to make this your
that's always the problem with these routers and with the number of 2.5 or 5 gigabit ports. Yeah. I mean, yes, your whole network internally can run on those speeds.
Yeah.
However, you also need a connection to the internet, so the last mile also needs to support that speed. Otherwise, it will only be for file transfers useful.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, how many? Of course, there are situations if you're a content creator or something, and you need to transfer big files really fast. Then this would be one of the ways to do it if you had multiple 2.5 gigabit ports. But other than that situation, there's not a whole lot of situations where that is often used.
And you need to think about cabling, because you need either Cat 7 or 6A.
Yeah. Also to use
to support those speeds.
Yeah. And here is also a reset button, of course. Again,
for me, on routers, normally the most used button.
Yeah?
Yeah, because sometimes you do some, you change some settings and it's not working, and then reset it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's possible. So yeah, that is indeed possible. And at the bottom there's also some stickers which are handy for setup. I will show you a little bit.
Don't show!
No, there's no problem, because again, you have to be on the network to be able to do it. So there's a QR code which is for pairing in the app and stuff like that. There are some SSID, a password, of course, for this router, and also the login details. But I'll show you that in a minute when we actually connect it. So this is the device itself. Oh,
and
forgot to mention, but some anti-slip feet. And of course, if you want to mount it on your wall, you have two of these holes. So that's also quite nice. So you can mount it on your wall quite easily.
One advice: always change the default password.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, these are here just for
after
so that
reset.
you can easily get in. And these are, I mean, I've seen routers which basically all of them have the exact same login, and it's 1, 2, 3 or whatever, or admin and admin. These at least have unique.
How do you know my password?
Yeah, exactly. These at least, I mean, the username standard is admin, yes, but this password, the login password, is randomized, so that's already a start. So there's already a little bit less of a risk that people will basically, if they know your brand of router, that they can already log in. That's not the case with ours. But again, like Eric says, that's exactly right. We do advise you, once you set it up, that you change both the username, but especially the password, into something also preferably a bit stronger.
Not really advise, but must.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's security 101.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's a little bit of a peel on this button here, so I'm gonna tear that off for you.
I didn't hear that, Peter.
No, yeah, sorry.
It's too small.
Well, it was, yeah. So it was over before it started, basically.
Yeah. So a question in the chat from Snips86.
Yes.
Can it be powered via PoE, so power over Ethernet?
No. This router, not. No.
No support for that.
No, and that's also because I hesitate. I don't know how much power you can deliver over PoE, but
Enough, because it's for security cams or for access points.
Yeah, but this one, I mean, it does have quite a strong processor as well, so I'm not sure if that would be sufficient. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's not supported, unfortunately. But so in this router, then, if you take the router out in the box, you have a starting guide, which explains basically, step by step. I'm going to show you guys because I'm setting it up real time for you guys here. But it also shows, for example, there's an app which you can download. It's called MSI Router, so you can find it really easily on both Android and iOS.
Convenient.
Exactly, it's very convenient. Inside this box, then, a little box, there is the power brick. But as you can see, there's no the plug isn't really there, but that's because there are two included, at least for Europe in this case, because this is the European version. So you have the UK, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, this is the UK plug with the three big fellas there, and the European plug, which is the one that we use here. So that's the one I'm going to take out of the packaging.
So when is the big router coming out? I think this was launched last week, Thursday, and it's available in the markets already.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the numbers that's available. You just connect it, by the way, so just push it on here and then push down until you hear the click. And there you have your power brick. And also included is a relatively short, but it's a UTP cable or a LAN cable.
I would say this for the uplink. You normally put it where your
either that or just
if
you need one to set it up quickly, but you should be able to connect to the Wi-Fi anyway. So, so that's basically it. I'm gonna unpack it now, or basically, I'm just undoing the cable.
So Arizon is asking, when is the big router coming out? I mean the one with the moving antenna. So that's our Wi-Fi 7
the Wi-Fi
router.
7. Okay, yeah. You mean the one that we were showing at CES?
Yes.
We don't know yet. There's no date confirmed yet. That was basically just something to show. It was a show of intent that we.
Could be 2027.
Yeah, it could be.
No.
It really depends. I mean, it was a work in progress. It's a working prototype, let's say. I think they mentioned that as well in all the coverage. You know, it's something that we're still working on. We still have to see how viable it is, and we just basically we do this a lot. We show products there to basically get a reaction and then see what people think about it. Yeah, basically just thought-provoking and showing everybody that we're working on stuff like this. So that basically also showing what they can expect from us in the future. Okay, so I have connected it. Let's see if I can move it back a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And I have two cables here. This is for my internet. So maybe I can show you a little bit.
Are you taking the same internet as we're streaming?
Not sure, but we'll find out.
Better don't do a benchmark.
No. So I'm gonna put this cable into the red port because that's standard out of the box is the WAN port, so your internet gateway, let's say. I'll just plug it in like that. And this one I can already plug in. It's for the PC that's sitting here next to me. But yeah, I'll just plug it in for now. But yeah, don't really need anything for now. Then once that is all connected, the power plug is also. I can't hold it closer, otherwise the power plug is gonna bend out of shape. But then there's the power button here. I just press it, and then it should turn on. And I already see one light here. The power light is on.
That's a start.
Yep, that's a good sign. And then the rest should start lighting up momentarily.
Good question from Shane Roy. Why everything has a gaming brand on it? Gaming this, gaming that. Does it help with sales? That's a valid question.
Yes.
No, you know, it's difficult to answer. But yes, gamers are a specific breed of customers or of persons. They have also, in some regards, higher demands for stability, for bandwidth.
Yep.
And normally gaming, you know, in the beginning it was a premium segment, but nowadays you have gaming in all segments with some gaming features, etc. But yes, it will help sales, but it also gives gamers specific features they need.
Yeah.
or which can benefit them. They need is, that everybody can decide that for themselves.
Yeah. Now by the way, you already see some, the lights coming on, which are red by default. And maybe this is a good time to show you what the buttons on the device do before we get into the UI. So as you can see, this is lit up by the LED, the RGB, and also these. They can only show one color at a time, but that's fine. This button, it says LED off, and it does turn LEDs off. Not the ones that you'd expect though. So that's for the status LEDs. However, if you want to turn off the other LEDs, basically this is the button, you just long press it for a couple of seconds and they're off. So basically, and then you can...
Now it's slower, I think you all know, right?
Sorry?
Now it's slower without RGB.
Yeah.
You slowed it down.
And then you can still, if the other LEDs, the status LEDs still bother you, you can still press this button and it basically, there's no LEDs whatsoever. You completely can completely turn everything off. So that's a nice touch, I think. So we're going to turn the status LEDs back on and this RGB as well. Now this button actually, it's not the only purpose of this button to basically turn the LEDs on and off by a long press. The other thing it does is by pressing it, you will see the color will change. But there is a significance behind those colors. And that has to do with and I've seen people saying this before, the QoS, or quality of service profile. So basically, by pressing on this button, you are cycling through the QoS profiles. You can also do that in the software, and I'll show that later on. So basically now we are in, I think, AI mode, so the automatic mode, and I'll leave it in there for now. That's the
Can you push the Wi-Fi button?
Yeah. So now, yeah.
I wanted to do that.
Nice joke, Eric. Nice joke. Yeah. Anyway, so turn the Wi-Fi back on, but that's just to have the signal. So yeah, that's basically on the device itself what I can show you. Now comes the real fun though, because I think, yes, there are a really nice bunch of basic options and functionality that we offer on the device itself, but most people, I guess, would put this device in the end somewhere that they don't always touch it. Maybe it's on top of a high shelf or somewhere. Most people won't directly put it beside their PC or somewhere that they can touch it. So let's go and see the actual software and the management tools that you get.
Hey,
so
maybe it's time to do a giveaway.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good one. Yeah, go.
Yeah. Shall I do two? I mean, a little bit over time.
Why not?
Maybe you.
So if you haven't already, I'm not sure. I hope the bot is doing its job by putting the link into the chat. You've seen it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the Gleam link in the chat, you can click on that, and then it will ask you to perform a couple of actions. The more actions you perform, the better your chance of winning. And today we're giving away, of course, multiple Steam wallet codes. Also, if you are a regular viewer and you participate regularly in the giveaway, then you will have some loyalty bonus points to throw in. You can do that every single time. Basically, they don't expire. They don't, once you use them, they don't go away. You can.
So it's probably automatically not.
Sorry?
It's automatically.
What, that they're used?
Yeah.
No, I think you have to push a button.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but okay. I think so. Yeah.
Anyway,
and the more times, basically this adds up, so the more giveaways you participate in, the more of these bonus points you get. It's like a loyalty bonus.
And if you want to participate on YouTube, Twitch, we have a bot running.
Yes.
Otherwise, if not, if you're watching on other channels like TikTok, msi.com/2/insider. And there you find the best how you can participate. The first two winners are Unicorn Flakes and Skydown. Congrats! In the coming days you will get what are we giving away? Steam wallet code.
Yes.
Yeah,
we're going to send those out to you as soon as possible.
So
Congratulations.
probably Monday.
Well, no, actually I usually do it a bit faster.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, there's going to be more winners later on.
Yeah.
Matthews is asking, how is the QoS buffer bloat on it? Well, I'm going to show you the QoS in a second. We're going to get to that. Is the QoS a very focused feature? It depends. I mean, it's a very nice feature if you have a congested network, or like a lot of people in your house, and you kind of want to divide the internet by your priority, or whatever you're doing at the moment. It can definitely make a difference.
Okay, let's
yes.
do the capture.
Yes. Because again, like everything happens now on. You have 3 options to connect to your device. Usually, I'm going to assume you may not have anything installed. So the easiest way is to go to a browser. So you open up the browser, and then you type MSI router.login. That's it. So it's a URL. Actually, you can't see it. Wait, let me. Here we go. That should be
it's
visible.
too small.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. I'm not sure if we can fix that. Maybe no, that doesn't do anything. Maybe I could change the resolution. On this.
Better don't, Peter.
No, okay.
No.
It's gonna mess with the capture then. Anyway, so MSI router.login. So you don't have to. Some routers you have to remember your 1.192.168. whatever, the whole IP address. Here it's a dedicated. Address, let's say. Then
am I wrong to still use my IP at home?
No, you can.
Okay.
It's just that probably your router doesn't support this
it supports
dedicated.
But I still use my IP.
Then you probably just didn't bother to change it or use it. Anyway, so yeah, this can be quite a bit easier. Then you're greeted with this screen, and you can create or you have to actually sign in with your account. And these are the details that we found at the bottom of the device itself. So the username is admin, and the password was printed on the bottom of the device.
And it was not 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, it was not. No, because these are randomized. So another product will have a different password, so it will not work on all of them already. And we did that to ensure that the people who don't change their password, at least, are not at huge risk.
Everybody should.
But still, yeah, we should. I know, but a lot of people still don't. Anyway, and then you sign in. And this is the interface. And I'll just widen it just slightly. I mean, that's enough. You can already see everything. I'm just trying to place it so it doesn't get blocked by any of our elements on stream. So the first thing you're greeted with, these are the QoS profiles at the top. As you can see, so you have AI auto, you have gaming, streaming, working from home, and traditional. Now, traditional is kind of like a custom setting, I guess you could say. I mean, these are all pre-programmed, and they will try to prioritize the traffic that has to do with the activity that this describes. Although AI auto will try to do it automatically. So basically, it will see whatever you're doing, whatever is demanding the most traffic, and then it will probably conclude, okay, then this is probably the focus, so I should give this priority. A couple of other things here. So the CPU usage, and there are 4 cores, as you can see.
Peter.
So that's
maybe
quite
an
nice.
important question from
Yeah.
BK Panther
Yes.
on Twitch. Will there be a link from the MSI Center app?
Yes, not just a link. I will show you that later. Actually, you can control, there's like a module that you can download, one of the modules in MSI Center, which allows you access to most of these features as well.
And then we have a phone app. So
yes. Yeah. Okay, so CPU, NPU, memory, and there's like a real-time, there's a little bit of a delay in here, but like a traffic analyzer. So you can at least see any activity, major activity going on your network, let's say through the router at least. Here then below, device connection status, it will show you your internet details, the router itself, how the uptime of the router, and I mean there's a check mark there, meaning everything's okay. If there's an issue, something will pop up there. And then it will show you how many wired, wireless clients, or if you've connected a USB disk. And it will list them underneath here. So what I will do now is I will connect some more devices.
Ooh, I can also check. Peter, question already 2 times in the chat, and I don't know the answer. The NPU, is that networking processing unit?
Honestly, I didn't check that either. But I'm assuming yes, because I mean you've got the CPU, which is the quad core, and then you've got like these radio antennas, basically like a processor for each of the signals. Yeah. So network processing unit.
You maybe have that slide. I know we're going to open one up later.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, this is if you see that. So you have this is your CPU in the middle here, and I'm assuming that either this is the NPU, so there's like a separate processor that really handles the networking part, and not just general processing, which is the CPU. But
maybe
also
later when we open it, we can check what.
I'm not sure if we're going to get this far, because I'm not sure if I want to remove the heatsink.
It depends who opens it.
I'm doing it. So.
Okay, then
anyway,
maybe not.
But as you can see here, each of the what we call radios. So this is, for example, the 5 gigahertz frequency radio. This is the 2.4 gigahertz frequency radio, and this is the 6 gigahertz frequency radio. And each of these radios has a chip, like a little processor of its own as well. So there's actually quite a lot going on here.
So let me see. Indian Roy is answering. It's indeed a network
it's a
processing
specialized
unit
chip from Qualcomm. Then I'm assuming it's probably one of the bigger ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me Google it.
But it's really Can we go back? Oh, actually, we are still in capture.
Yeah,
no worries.
we can.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm now connecting a couple more devices. Well, I was in the process of doing that. Let me see. So this one doesn't support Wi-Fi 6E, this phone, but it's fine. I mean, I can connect to the Wi-Fi 5, the 5G band.
It looks like Qualcomm is referring...
I'll connect my own phone as well to the Wi-Fi 6E.
Peter, it looks like Qualcomm is referring to it as a neural processing unit instead of networking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so just to give you an idea now, I've connected this as well. And as you can see in real time, I have one wired client, but now I have two wireless as well. So there is the our phone here that we are using in the office, the Poco X3. And I've connected my own S21 Ultra as well. And here also it says even the interface, our office phone uses 5 gigahertz, so that's Wi-Fi 5. No, it's still Wi-Fi 6, sorry. So this is Wi-Fi 6, but it's 5 gigahertz band because it doesn't support Wi-Fi 6E. And then my own phone is connected to the 6 gigahertz because it does support Wi-Fi 6E. Here you can also see a couple of other things like real-time download and upload data. So you could basically, if you want to pinpoint which device is really using up my internet connection, this should be able to help you out here, at least to get an idea of which device is doing it. And then there's a nice block button here as well. So you can basically say, no, this device is using up too much. So Eric, this is the one for you. This device is using up too much of my connection. I want to block it. So basically...
Oh, sorry, Peter, you need to move it a bit because your GPU is blocking it. Yeah, sorry. Like that.
Here we go. So these are the ones.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. So the red one I just clicked, and so my phone, my personal phone now is blocked. But you can unblock it again, and then, as you can see, there's a little progress bar that's basically.
As a parent, I was told that you should not punish your kids, but reward them. So basically they will not have any internet until I have to reward them, and then I can enable it.
Yes, yeah, that is better.
So they only have 10% of the time signal.
Okay, so I want to get through a few more features here. First, at the top, if English is not your native language or not your preferred language, there is a whole list of other languages here you can change it to. So I think this is Czech. And as you can see, there's a lot of, everything is translated then, Spanish, there's Dutch, which is the language that we speak as well. So it is available in pretty much every language, every major language. So here you can still switch with it if you don't want to use the button on the device itself. It's very easy. You click the button to change the QoS profile. The device kind of has to apply those settings or reset itself every time you do that, so it takes a few seconds. Still, I'm told this is quite fast for a router changing these settings. There you go, now it's applied, and also the device itself will then change color to reflect that profile.
Should I add that in, Peter, the capture?
No, it's okay. We've seen, gaming is red, streaming is purple.
Yeah, but it's also from the software changes directly, right?
How do you mean in software?
If you change it here, one moment. Let me...
Oh, like that. No, it takes a couple of seconds. I think it's at least 50% that it needs to be applied, but I'll switch to streaming mode now. So as you can see, it will start to apply it, and then at around 50% or a little bit after that, oh, here we go. Yeah, so now it already changed the lighting, and basically that says, okay, you're now in this profile. Yeah. Traditional QoS, you can also apply that to set up, and that basically allows you to do manual setting of bandwidth limitations and stuff like that. So I'll apply that for a second as well to show you. Are there any performance or reliability gains if you only use a wired connection? I mean, a wired connection is always nice. I always prefer it still, even though honestly this wireless is really, really fast in this category. It's probably as fast and sometimes even capable of faster speeds than a gigabit wireless wired connection, sorry. But you're not at the mercy of competing other wireless products that are or neighbors that are trying to use the same bands or stuff like that. So it's just, it's less hassle in my experience. Although honestly, Wi-Fi these days is so good, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, just want to show you quickly the traditional QoS settings if you want to use it. So really you can set your limitations, and you basically have 3 profiles which you can assign to your devices. You have a high priority, medium or low, and that will limit their bandwidth. So this is really a ham-handed solution, let's say. It's really cutting it off to say, okay, you get this part of the connection, you get that part. So you really slice it up, let's say, if you want to do that. And then basically you can say, okay, high priority. So here you can, in this drop down, you can select it, and you can say, okay, this device, and it shows you the device is connected. This device is a high priority, so I want to use it, or I want to save it to that, and then you save it. I mean, it's a bit of work, but you can set it up like that.
And this is always useful if you have, for example, IPTV at home, which you don't want any
buffering,
stuttering, indeed, or you want the game. Those get the highest priority, and then probably other devices get lower priority or bandwidth.
Can you apply your own color settings to these modes? No, as far as I'm aware, you can't, but you can still change the color. But I'll get to that. So this is your dashboard, let's say. There's also a button up here that says Internet Wizard. So this is really for basically first time setting up. If it doesn't automatically already, I mean, this one, like you saw, it basically did everything from the start. It just started working. But if it doesn't, if it requires some setup, here you basically have your wizard to go through. So in a couple of steps, you can then say which type of connection you have. In this case, it's IP automatically, DHCP. You can then change your host name, let's say, but this is all optional, so you can you don't need to do that. Then the more important part here, the SSID. The SSID basically is the name you give your wireless network. And there's a whole lot of really nice names you can provide, like get your own Wi-Fi or.
Mine at home are called Network Not Found.
Yeah,
it annoys everybody.
What was it? FBI surveillance van. Some people, I don't know, something funny. You can, but anyway, so here you can change that. But more importantly, also you can change the password for accessing your wireless connection as well. So here you can really, again, this is one of the steps. You make it your own connection, and it's a bit of security as well. But yeah. That's very nice to have, the Internet Wizard. It's really standard, but it's, again, you tend to overlook.
I think if you boot it up the first time, it will also prompt you with it.
I'm not sure. It could be, yeah. I mean, we've obviously had it out of the box before, so. Okay, then Game Center. So this gives you a whole lot of options that have to do specifically with gaming. So, I mean, you guys were asking, hey, but really, is it a gaming router? Yes. A couple of things. There's a game boost here, which basically will try to, again, optimize the connection between you and game servers, for example. There is a feature called MSI Device First, or short MSI First. And basically what that does, if you enable it, and it is enabled right now, is it will detect and prioritize traffic from MSI devices. So in this case, this desktop is an MSI device. If I had a laptop connected from MSI, it will do that as well. But this is up to you. If you want to use it, you can also really easily disable it. There are a couple of profiles here. You can again switch the QoS profiles. And here is your list of the priority list again for your devices. Mystic Light. So this is for, I don't know who asked the question about.
So go back to the gaming.
Yeah.
So question from Pandorian Grey. How does it determine that? So it's an MSI device.
That? I've seen one. The best I've seen is Mom use this one. Yeah. But how does it determine what? Sorry, because I'm not...
I guess he's referring, because at that moment you were talking about the MSI first.
Oh, that, because it recognizes, I mean, again, it recognizes names or MAC addresses. So there are a couple of devices that are, let's say, compatible there. And I think you do need MSI Center to use it, because you also then need to, it's basically like a handshake in MSI Center and the router, that it will recognize that. Yeah, so the MAC addresses also contain the manufacturer ID. There you go. Well, that's a really easy way of doing it. Anyway, the router is deviceist. Not really. I mean, this is a setting by default. It's turned off actually. So you can enable it if you want to use it. It's turned off by default. So yeah. Right. So somebody asked about, can I change the lighting profiles? Yes, you can. Well, at least not in terms of the QoS profiles and which color they have. Those are set out of the box. But if you want to use a different color, or you want to sync it up with the rest of your MSI Mystic Light components.
We need it back?
Maybe, yeah, if you have it. Yeah. Basically, you just click this button. Oh.
Yeah. Moment.
Enable, and it won't automatically start doing crazy stuff yet. Of course, you need to go to MSI Center then to control it. But this will let you control and sync up the RGB lighting of your router with in MSI Center with the rest of your MSI gear. So I'll click this for now, so we can do that in a few moments. Of course, there are things like port forwarding, and this is always useful for some people when they're running into issues in terms of game servers. Sometimes you need to add specific ports in and make sure that they are allowed through. There's also a VPN, so an open VPN server that you can configure and set up through the router, so that's also a nice thing. So you don't have to do it on the PC itself. Network analysis tool, so this is also really nice. There's a quick ping, trace route, net
basic
stat,
stuff.
Yeah, NS lookup. So just really easy if there's any issues with your router or your connection. This will help you at least test some part of it and see where the issue is. Wi-Fi settings. Of course, wireless, basic wireless settings, and again, this is basically setting up all the wireless stuff. So here you have a drop-down, which basically everything down here, all the settings apply to whatever band you choose here. So this is 2.4 gigahertz. Here you can say, okay, I want to disable the 2.4 gigahertz band completely because I'm not using it. So you can do that. The wireless mode, so you can even say, okay, I want to support not the Wi-Fi 6, so the AX mode, but only, I don't know, Wi-Fi N, which is really old, or a BG. So that's the older. Actually, Wi-Fi N is, I think, wasn't that Wi-Fi AC? No, that's AC. I don't know, but longer ago when it was just single figures. Also, the name you can change here. The broadcast network name, so you can actually, this is I think something that you can use to hide it. If you say don't broadcast the network name,
you can still connect to it, but it will not be
visible for everybody. Exactly. Yeah,
it will not offer a handshake to like here I am.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of options here. Security stuff as well. And yeah, like I mentioned, you have these options for each of the bands. 60 gigahertz offers a little bit more because you even have more channel width. And remember, these are the numbers that I mentioned before, like, in terms of the speed. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in here. Advanced settings, because that wasn't even advanced yet. Also per band, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can change here. Let's see if there's any I want to point out. Yeah, I mean, you can disable or enable beamforming or MIMO, MIMO. So also there you have a lot of options to customize your router. WP as well, Wi-Fi protected setup, as you can see. So you can do a lot of stuff on that. Multiple SSIDs, because some people don't just want one channel sending out basically per frequency, per band. You can even have 2 SSIDs or 2 networks, let's say, with different names, broadcasting on the same frequency. Now this doesn't double your speed, by the way, but it will just basically say, okay, I want half of the antennas basically to create a new network on a different frequency or on a different band, let's say. So you can do that as well. Again, a lot of options. There's an option for a dedicated option for a guest network, which is always nice. If people visit your home and they're always like, what's your Wi-Fi password?
Yeah.
And you don't want to give it because, security and stuff.
You should not give it.
No, ideally not, but you also don't want to be an asshole. So.
No, but I mean, that's why you have this option. I mean, you have a guest network.
So this, and basically really easily, you can just basically say, okay, I want to enable the guest network at whatever, each frequency you can choose. And then, you can then limit, and maybe even you can limit the access time even. So you can say, look, you're here for, I don't know, a couple of hours, so I'll just,
then
it goes quite far, I think.
Then I need to game.
Exactly. Internet access only, so basically then, it will prevent people from accessing anything, other devices on your network, or wireless client isolation, basically, so people cannot see, the device cannot see each other, and security mode, of course, you can enable or disable that. So, I mean, again, there's a lot of options, and it's nice to have the possibility of a guest network. And then we get to the advanced stuff, and I'm going to go through this a little bit faster. The WAN settings, so here is where you can say, look, I want that 1 gigabit port to the left of the 2.5 gigabit port to handle the internet traffic, let's say. That will be the port, the gateway. Then you basically select this port here and then click save, and it will basically the whole device. This takes 2 minutes or something, but it will reboot and apply that. Out of the box, the 2.5 gigabit port is doing that. Again here, you can basically do a lot of customization, port triggers, port forwarding, well, we already mentioned that. NAT pass-through, well, NAT is also one of those terms you tend to find with game servers or file sharing or all that kind of stuff. DMZ, well, I hope for most of you guys this isn't really applicable, but if you're in a demilitarized zone, you are restricted basically. You can't use certain channels, let's say. So, and then if you enable this will automatically make sure that you're not using channels that are not allowed in a demilitarized zone.
Peter, good question from Neil Guest. Can you aggregate the 2 ports as one? So can you combine them as one?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
I also.
No, you have to choose. So because again, you have to choose either one of these ports. You can't really select both of them.
Would be cool if you have a fast connection or you have 2 uplinks at home.
Yeah, true. But
not
in this
that
case,
I can afford it, but
yeah, I mean, if 2.5 gigabit isn't cutting it for you,
you need double.
Then you have other problems.
That's also right.
First world problems, guys. Firewall, of course, I usually don't touch these, but you can, denial of service, so the DDoS attacks. If you're afraid that people are going to DDoS you, then if you're a streamer, maybe this is
if you're playing Counter-Strike, this is useful.
Maybe, yeah. Access control, also again, there's a whole lot of stuff you can do here. Inbound filter. URL filter, if you want to blacklist certain things, like this is also maybe again for your kids, Eric.
Absolutely.
If you don't want them to use certain sites and you want to specify exactly which ones they are, this is where you do it.
True.
Parental control, this is the other one. Here you can, there's like a web and apps filter, so you can enable it. And then what this does is this is and you can even say, okay, it's only for this device, for example. And then you can specify which filters apply to this.
Useful. Yeah,
so there are, it's adult, gambling, violence, illegal, drugs, firearms, malicious phishing, attack, virus.
There's no separate option for Roblox.
Game. I guess that. To be fair, I don't know exactly which sites and apps are in each of the categories. So I'm not sure if there's any way to find like a list of what's included. But in general, these include the most visited, I guess, and the most known apps.
Yeah.
And I mean, by adding the plus, basically, you can say, no, I want different filters for a different device. So again, this is also per
this
device.
is useful.
Yeah, it's quite nice. You can even do a time schedule here as well to say, look, if, again, this is also maybe for your kids, if you want people to sleep at night, or you basically just don't want anything coming in on your phone, on your connection during the night, for example, while you're sleeping, you can basically just, for, well, maximum 16, that's quite a lot, of devices, you can specify, look, I want basically, this device to be...
1 hour
time
internet per day, and if they wash my car, they get an extra half
every
hour.
weekday, for example, right? Every weekday, and I want at midnight. No, sorry.
Like 7 o'clock or something.
Know. Yeah, or 11. I mean, it's the military system, but still. And stop time at, I don't know, 0600.
Oh, so it's no, it says active schedule, so you should do it the other way around.
Yeah. So active schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
Enable time schedule. Yeah. So again, so probably this is active time. So then I need to reverse it actually, but still, you get the idea. And here it is a bit more of an explanation what exactly you can do. But again, it's basically restricting internet access. So again, quite nice and extensive, I would say, to have these options. QoS profiles, again, basically here you have the enable AI. At the moment I have traditional QoS applied, which we saw earlier, and also the bandwidth limiter. So you can, per device, you can say, okay, I want this device to only have this speed available. USB, so this is everything to do with that USB port on the back. You can enable a media server, let's say. So if you have, I don't know, USB external hard drive, for example, that you want to use for within your network for file sharing or as a media server, you can do it that way. A Samba server, so again, this has got to do with specific that protocol. FTP server within your network. I'll repeat that. You
can also expose it to the internet.
Yeah. You can actually. It's not recommended. Anyway.
It's not recommended, no?
No.
Depends.
Yeah. Authentication, etc. I mean, you can, I was told actually this wouldn't be available, whatever you connect to the USB port would not be available to the internet. So I'm a bit confused why it's in here, but I will check that. Anyway, BitTorrent, for legal purposes, of course.
You can download Linux distributions with it.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's quite useful.
Never tried it.
And also, of course, everybody's favorite functionality in Windows as well, eject device safely. Yeah. It's included here to prevent any issues.
You know, I always have the imagination that it pops out if you click this button.
Yeah, eject.
Yeah, eject it.
Eject seat.
Yeah, this is like more unlock or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, or at least making sure that nothing is still like using that data, indeed, while you pull it out and causes any issues that way, I guess so.
You should make that, eject.
Yeah, that would be nice. Supported file systems, by the way, NTFS, FAT32, and exFAT. So that also means that NTFS and exFAT, I think, are really big files there. So, yeah, that's always nice. LAN settings. Again, also you can change all the settings of your LAN, and LAN is, of course, the wired network. WAN is the wireless is the or WLAN is wireless LAN. So also here, everything pretty much you can change. Routing, it's a router, so, or as the English say, router. Yeah. So again, also here you can pretty much your destination IP address, net mask, gateway, everything you can customize here. IPv6, of course, which of course it supports IP6 v6 instead of only 4, which is these days very standard. But yeah, so you have your IPv6 address. And you can also then make sure that that's to your liking. VPN, well, we already covered this, but yeah, it's Open VPN server that you can use there. Administration tools, these are quite, some of these are quite important. This one is quite interesting as well, because at the moment, the router is used as a wireless router mode, because it's assuming that this is basically the gateway to the house, and it needs to dish out all the IP addresses and stuff like that. But you can also use it as an access point. So then you click this button, and basically what it does then is it doesn't really
route
or provide IP addresses anymore. What it then does is basically it becomes a gateway, like an access point that you can put somewhere else, but it's not going to mess with your networking anymore. You don't get what's called as a subnet as in your network. And this simplifies things when you want to, for example, access a device connected to your main router, let's say, through a device that is connected to this router. If you have it as a wireless router mode, it can be quite difficult for these two to find each other, because they're on basically two different networks.
This is why I always use the reset button.
Yeah, maybe.
When I'm playing with this.
But if you put it in access point mode, it's still the same network basically, and so
it's
devices
like
will be more
mode.
likely to. It's easier to find each other, because it's one big network. System management. I mean, this is whole. Here's the general account access settings.
Change this password as well.
Yeah. You can exactly. You can change this password. There's time settings. Basically, at the moment, the time zone is set to Taipei, I think, which is not correct for our purposes. Let's see, where are we located? We are. This one. So change that.
I had the error screen again, Peter.
Quite quick. Sorry?
I applied the error screen again. Yeah, indeed. This would be an expensive access point.
Yeah, it would be. But again, it depends on if later on you upgrade to another router, Wi-Fi 7, for example, but you already have this one, and you still want to keep using it because maybe, I don't know, in your second floor, third floor, you have a bad connection, then you could simply just move this one to that. That's actually what I did. My old router was in my living room, and I upgraded to Wi-Fi 6 at some point. But my old router is now in the attic, providing me like the home office, basically doing its job there, which is fine. But it's working as an access point, so it's quite useful.
Same in my new house. I got a new cable router, but it didn't have any settings I wanted, so I used my old one, and I put the cable router in bridge mode, so I have all the settings I need, and it still works.
There you go. Remote access config, also there, firmware upgrade. This one is important because every now and again, and this is mostly got to do with security reasons. It's not that maybe some features aren't working or compatibility or whatever. If there's a firmware upgrade, probably it's got to do with maybe supporting new security measures that are put in place. What you can do is you can download it yourself and then connect it probably through the USB port, a USB stick, and then access it that way. Or you can simply, if you're connected to the internet anyway, you have an online firmware upgrade. You can just say, okay, I want you to check if there's a new version available. It will do that quite quickly and say, in this case, current firmware is the latest version, so no need to update. Also, again, if you messed up, Eric, this is your favorite setting then.
No, normally if I mess up, you cannot access this anymore.
Factory defaults. Okay, then you need the physical button indeed. You can also actually time system reboots if you want to reboot your router every now and again because you get the idea that it's slow or something, or you just want to do that. You can actually, there's a timer where you can say, look, every day, week, month, at a certain day, let's say if we say
3 o'clock
month,
midnight.
here you could say the date of the month. Every 10th, for example, I want at midnight, I want the router just reset, and that's possible. Importing settings, that's maybe also cool if you have another router that's the same or something, you just want to copy the same settings.
Maybe this should be called backup, that's maybe the more logical term.
I don't know. Feedback, you can even also, again here, also links to, I think our forums probably, that you can provide feedback if you feel like it, or suggestions. There's of course also, it's quite useful, a system log. So if there's any issues or stuff going on and you want to see what's going on in your network, this can enable you to look for it. You can export it to send to somebody else to analyze it. So yeah, quite handy. And a privacy setting, and this has got to do with the QoS that we use, which is based on GT Booster. So also there you can, at any point, if you once you start using these QoS, you have to one time give your approval to GT Booster, let's say, to because it needs to analyze your traffic. Otherwise, there's no way for it to prioritize, and it can't really tell which is gaming related or work related or streaming related. So it has to be able to access and analyze that data. It doesn't do anything with it other than doing its thing that it's supposed to do. But at any point, if you feel like, okay, I actually don't want to use it anymore, I don't feel comfortable with it, you can withdraw your approval, and then it's no longer accessible. Like GT Booster has no more access to that data. It cannot apply them. The flip side of that is that you also won't be able to use the QoS profiles. But at least it's it's there for you if you feel like at any point you don't feel like using that anymore. Last option here, network tools. Also here, well, we've seen this before as well. This is just to analyze your network. This is also nice, Wi-Fi analytics. So here you can actually, it will allow you to see, not sure if it will do. So these are the networks that are available here in the office at the moment, 2.4 gigahertz. And if I go to 6 gigahertz, there should be only one, which is the one that we are using. So it's not seeing any because it cannot detect its own signal, obviously. But this it can use basically to see, okay, which of the channels which are located below here are the most congested, and then it will automatically select a channel that's less congested. So here you can already see it's doing a pretty good job in the office here because everything is.
Can you see the network names as well?
Probably. Yeah.
No, the devices.
No, this is not devices. This is, for example, we see.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah. Guest, and then there we go, the guest. Anyway.
We're in the office.
Yes, yeah. So these are the options, and this is basically the wide range of options in the web UI. And I think now is a good moment, maybe Eric, to do another giveaway, and then I'll show you the management in the mobile app and through MSI Center.
2 new winners, both with a loyalty bonus. Thank you guys,
nice.
Or girls.
Congrats.
I don't know. Lee Watt and PST Man. Well, PST Man sounds like a guy, right?
Postman, I would say, but yeah.
Psst Man.
Psst Man.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, congrats. If you want to participate in the giveaway, you still can go to msi.com/do/insider over YouTube and Twitch. We have a bot running. Steam wallet code.
Yes, Steam wallet codes, correct. Okay, we need to move on because we only have like half an hour left, Eric.
Yeah. And you know why we need to speed up?
You wanna share that?
We have a team dinner tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I've done is I have connected a phone. This one, the office phone, the Poco X3 that you saw mentioned earlier. And I've actually connected it with a nice handy program. If you want to know how you do this, there's like 0 latency. It's called Screen Copy, or SRC CPY, I think, on GitHub. Anyway, so you have this, if you want to
GitHub,
control...
that kind of program.
Yeah.
Well, it works.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it's pretty cool. Anyway. And it doesn't really require you to install any app as well. It's just, it runs on the PC, and then you just need to enable the USB debugging. And anyway, so as you can see, I've got the app here, MSI Router, and that I just downloaded that from the Play Store. I can highlight that as well. Yeah, I got it. MSI Router. And as you can see, it's quite new still, so no reviews yet. I mean, it was out last week, I think. But I think, everything looks quite nice. It's nice laid out. Anyway, I'll show you guys what it looks like. When you open it up, you're, of course, greeted with the login screen.
Admin 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can, no, it's the same login details we had before. I mean, at the bottom, there is a button saying setting new MSI router. That's basically preferred if you're just installing the device for the first time. You just took it out of the box. We've already set it up, of course, so I'm just gonna put in the details, the username and the password, and then say sign in. And it probably will ask me for location information. It usually does at some point, because it Okay, this time it doesn't. Maybe it already remembered it. Anyway, as you can see, this is the UI on the phone, and it should look quite familiar, right? I mean, you have the QoS modes at the top, and there is on the right side, there's the traditional QoS, which is what I'm using.
Peter, is it possible to, some of these programs also have that they can highlight where your finger touches the screen?
No, in this case, and maybe it can, but I didn't enable that, so anyway, limited time to set everything up.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point we can do that. Anyway, here is your actual, in the middle, there is your actual download and upload speed.
That's for the complete router, right? Not for this
CPU,
device.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's for the router indeed.
Yeah.
CPU, NPU, memory. So again, also quite nice. At the bottom, there is the again your internet and your connected devices. And if you click on the connected devices, you can actually see them, and you can also block them. So quite easy access. Going back
you
to
also
the home
see
settings.
that they're connected on different speeds. One was 6 gigahertz, one was 5.
Yeah. You can actually see that indeed. Maybe I can highlight that with my mouse here. So this is the device I'm holding, the Poco X3, and there is indeed that's connected on 5G. It's still Wi-Fi 6, but it's 5G. My S21 Ultra is Wi-Fi 6E capable, so it's using 6 gig. Or 6 gigahertz band, and the desktop I'm currently on is connected wired, so that's why it says.
Can also do wireless, right?
You can do wireless indeed, but
desktop,
yeah. So now I'm going to click on the Game Center part at the bottom. And here you can also see the Mystic Light option, which I've enabled. So in a minute, when I open MSI Center, we can actually control the RGB on the router through MSI Center. The Game Turbo Booster, the profiles MSI device first, and the client devices, if I click on that. At the moment I've not specified any, but that's where I would be able to do it. By adding them like so, and then anyway. It's basically the nice thing about this, I think, is it's quite consistent with what you saw in the web interface as well. Obviously, it's been made, it's been simplified a bit and more suitable for the mobile environment, but still. Now I'm going to the settings at the the bottom right. And here you can see these are all the settings that basically we already went through. Internet Wizard at the top, Wi-Fi settings, guest network. So it's really easy to set everything up. You don't have to even open it up in the web UI, even though that provides maybe a little bit easier overview and a bit more options, but still. So here you can really, you can access all the options you need. So say you wanna set it up, or you want to change the operation mode. You go to administration, operation mode, and you just say, okay, I want to have it function as an access point instead of a wireless router. You can just do that from your phone, or limit your kid's internet, Eric. Also, that you can easily do either through parental controls, or what was it? Wi-Fi settings. No, actually, wait. No, just the connected devices, actually, maybe from home. So here, you could click on the devices and then say, okay, this one is bugging me, the PS21 Ultra. There you go. You click it and poof, their internet connection is gone.
What did it say?
Yeah, exactly. So, easy peasy. The nice thing about it is it's fairly consistent and still quite extensive in terms of what you can do through your phone, and it's really easily accessible. So now let me switch then to MSI Center. So I already have it open. So this is what MSI Center looks like for most people. You'll recognize it. And there's a button here, the feature sets button, those little squares. That's basically the modules manager, let's say. So you can either remove or add modules. And you do need to, if you have this program already, you buy this router, you do need to make sure you have the latest version of MSI Center. Otherwise, it might not offer the MSI router module.
Normally, it's doing detecting it automatically.
It will try to, yeah.
If it's connected to the system. So maybe this one you need to install indeed.
Yeah, I just needed to make sure I have the latest version. I mean, that's always a good idea, but still. So here you see, these are all the modules I didn't install, or I don't have installed right now. But I do have MSI router installed, for example, and this is the module that deals with. Am I not connected to it? I thought I was.
You just were.
Yeah. Oh, I think Well, I disconnected it earlier, so I may need to restart the program. Give me a sec. Because it may have been, like the connection was interrupted. So that may be it. Let's see. And, oh yeah, now I need to, yeah, then of course you also need to log in. Let's see if I remember this. That should be it. Yeah, there we go. So when I log in with my login details, in this case it would still the login details that was provided on the product itself, but still. Again, you can change the QoS modes through this. You can monitor connection, traffic, and all the stuff. Basically the same dashboard you had in the web UI. You have the Game Center options here as well. Quickly enable or disable them. Mystic Light, which is enabled. Wi-Fi settings. Basic Wi-Fi settings, guest network, but you will notice that, oh sorry, and I forgot Internet Wizard of course at the top as well, but you will notice that the advanced options that we had in the web UI, those are not included in MSI Center. So for those, there's really there's a button, go to web UI, and then it will, it will just open that for you. You log in and you have the other options. So in MSI Center, it's basically it's the more basic options that are offered, but they should still be fine for quick changes if you need to do them. Then showing you the MSI Mystic Light part. So this is the part that we were looking for.
Can you maybe move it a little bit to the left, and I can enlarge the webcam?
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So what you see here is all the components that are Mystic Light capable, and at the moment the motherboard is selected. We have the graphics card, we have a keyboard, monitor. Actually it's not showing the mouse, so that's a bit strange. But
a question in the chat if MSI has a module for the gaming controllers. Do you know if they're in MSI Center?
No.
Okay.
No, because well, actually, I'm not sure. That's a
the
good
V2
question.
maybe.
Yeah, because you're saying you need the battery levels. That might be included, but I mean, in terms of other settings, there's not a whole lot of stuff to change on the controller. So there's also no point to support.
You would like to check for firmware updates.
Yeah. Well, the only way to find out is to connect it to your PC, and then make sure you have the latest version of MSI Center. Yeah. See if there's I think there's a gaming gear, here you go, gaming gear module. Actually the mouse is showing up, but it's probably just not using RGB. But then it should show up here. If there's any options for it, it should show up in the gaming gear.
Seems we don't have a controller here.
No. Anyway, here's the router. And as you can see, on its own I can control it and say, okay, at the moment it's doing, it can do a color shift, so let's apply this, rainbow. So basically then it will just, cycle through the colors. And as you can see here, it's doing that. I think, yeah, here we go. So now it's a bit white and blue, pink. Yeah, so it's cycling through colors, and so basically you have a lot of things that you can do steady. So you basically just want the color to be on at all times. Breathing, color shift. Actually, color shift and rainbow might be the same thing. I'm not sure. But more importantly, what you can also do is by clicking this little clip here, link everything together and say, look, I want everything to just be rainbow as hell. And then it will apply that, and it will link it to the rest of your Mystic Light setup. So again, if you're going to have lights in your router, you better have the possibility to link it up and sync it up with the rest of your hardware. So yeah. Anyway.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah. So I think this is mostly everything I can show you in terms of the UI and all the ways to control it. Yeah, if there's any questions, maybe now is the time, if we ever want to do it, to do a teardown of one of these routers. Not this one, by the way, not this one. I have another one, which was a quite early sample, still in quite pristine condition though. So I'm going to move this one here, so it's out of the way. And I'm gonna grab me some tools. So here is one of the routers. As you can see, it's fully, yeah, it's pretty close to final, I think, because there's also, you know, there's all the stickers on here and everything you need. I'm going to see if I can open it up. I'm not sure if I can remove the antennas. I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't know how. Yeah, I better not mess with that too much.
That's my job.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'll do is I'll at least get them out of the way so I can put it down basically on its head or face down like this. Let's see, yeah. And what I have to do, I guess now, is to remove these rubber feet because they will be hiding the screws. And so this one I already loosened just a little bit. The other ones I haven't yet. So, and they're quite firmly attached with some glue or adhesive. So they're not that easy to take off. And I don't have any fingernails because I cut them. Oh. So yeah, these anti-slip feet though, they're quite nice.
So Garrison is asking, I have a router and it crashed once, I checked the logs, but they only show after the reboot, the log.
Yeah.
What you maybe can do is use a traffic analyzer. Because I don't think some routers don't store the, maybe it's because of the error, or they don't store all the logs.
Yeah, could be. So as you can see, basically now what I've done is I've uncovered these screw holes. Not sure if it's visible.
Oh, don't do this at home.
Yeah, don't indeed. We do this
button.
so it's the usual disclaimer on our live stream when we do a teardown. We do this so you don't have to. There's really no reason for you to have to open this thing up anyway. It's passively cool, by the way. There's no fan in here. There's just basically the normal airflow coming from all the vents. And the, how do you say it, thermodynamics doing their job. So basically the router is heating up, so air will go to the top by itself and then pull in some cooler air here. You can always point a fan at it if you feel like it's getting too hot for your taste, but honestly, with the cooling solution that's in here, that really should never be a concern. So I'm just gonna undo these screws. Let's see, yep, there's one out.
Phillips head?
Yes, it is. Yeah, normal Phillips head screwdriver. Nothing fancy. Nothing. You know. I mean, again, there's no. I can't really imagine a scenario where you'd want to take this apart yourself. Ah, here we go.
Well, that could be the case that you use some special screw. That people.
Sometimes they do. Yeah, like
yeah, like it's like a sign. Don't open this.
Yeah, or a sticker on it, indeed. But I mean, in this case, I mean, they're hidden behind these anti-slip feet anyway. So I wouldn't recommend opening this because, again, you're gonna mess up the anti-slip feet. But that's why we do it, so you don't have to. Again, and now I'm not sure. I haven't opened one of these before, but I'm assuming that now something will come loose. Let's see.
Boom, boom.
Ooh. Yep. So these covers, again, these are quite well attached, but basically just clicked in place to cover the air vents on this side as well. And on this side, it's probably the same thing then. Yep. I mean, carefully. I'm not breaking it, by the way, guys. And then now...
That's also what I always tell them. And then after the stream, when we check everything, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you have to apologize to everybody. Okay, so there's some more covers. That feels like it's screwed in place, so I'm not sure. And there's no screws under there anyway, so it's probably no use trying to get that off. Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can get this apart. I mean, again, it's quite sturdy, I have to say.
It's not that we practice this.
No, indeed. Oh, seems like...
Can you use a prying tool maybe? Just get it between there?
Well, I'm getting some action here, a little bit. Ah, now it's starting to come loose. There we go.
But watch out, there can be cables attached to
yeah, I'm being gentle. I'm being gentle. There we go. Nope, no cables. So basically, this is just the top cover, let's say, with the buttons, also these ones. And underneath that is the PCB. And as you can see, it's basically upside down, because what we showed earlier in the slide, that's basically what's on the other side of this. I'm going to see if I can possibly pop it out. I think it might be possible, but I have to be really careful with these.
I think you need to remove the antennas.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, this one I can easily remove. And this is...
Yeah, all of them. This is like in mobile phones.
Yeah? These ones as well? This is like a really small plug, or?
Yeah, it's typical, but they're quite annoying. You just you use your prying tool.
No, yeah, but they're like really tiny.
Yeah.
Connectors.
This also Wi-Fi uses the same antennas.
Yeah, you need to be careful though, because they're so small that it looks like you could very easily damage them.
That's smart.
Well, it's like, I always get that idea when the small connectors, you know, it's like they look very fragile. Maybe they're not. Let's see. Okay.
You break it, you buy it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. This one I need to...
Some adhesive tape, or what is it?
No, it's just like it's a clip. These are clips
routing.
holding it in place.
It's for routing the cables.
Yeah, routing the cables on the router.
Yeah.
Routing the cables on the router.
I was surprised when I hear that in the UK it's a router.
Yeah, well, potato, right? Tomato. There's always different ways of saying things. Okay, so after this one, I think I've at least disconnected all the antennas. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that I will remove. And I'm wondering if there's anything on the bottom that's holding it in place. But we'll find out soon enough.
So now you know what Peter is going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, putting it back together.
Trying
Assembling.
to put it back together.
Well,
we still have the video, right?
Yes. Exactly. So we can play it in reverse, and then I can reverse engineer this. Okay, let's see. So probably it's still being held a little bit.
Neil is offering his help.
Who?
Neil in the chat. Neil Guest.
Okay.
He's offering his help to put it together.
Getting somewhere. I think we're getting somewhere.
You probably need to ship it to the UK.
Oh, look at that. Yes.
Ooh,
right.
Nice.
So this is cool.
Damn.
So, I mean, this is like, right, this is, I can let you guys hear it. This is an aluminum
Can you
heatsink.
show it? Because maybe you're touching something else.
No, well, yeah, I'm trying to hold it close to my mic. As you can see, this is a...
you're scratching it.
It's aluminum heatsink, black coated.
Damn.
But as you can see, the big thing about it is there are actual heat pipes connected to it, and then this is also like a small heatsink on each side. So as you can see, these are heat pipes, actual heat pipes connected to it. So it's really cool, because this does show that, you know, MSI, of course, we make graphics cards, we make laptops, we make motherboards, and all kinds of things that have advanced cooling solutions. This might seem a bit overkill, and maybe it is, but still, these things cannot run too hot, otherwise you're going to have some performance throttling as well. And especially because these things are on 24/7 usually. And I mean, again, you know, just think about how many times and how long you're streaming, or somebody in your house is using the internet. So these things actually get a fair bit of you know, work that they need to do. So it's quite important that they are cooled to a good extent.
Yeah.
And you can achieve that by, you know, having a fan, like active cooling in here. But trust me when I say you don't want that, because in this type of device with this size, the fans are going to be very, very small. And small fans are noisy.
Yeah,
so
if you look at the 19-inch rack switches, most of them have active cooling inside, like the 24 ports.
Sorry, Indiana Roy, you're right. It's carbon coated indeed. So the black coating, it's carbon coated indeed. this looks impressive, and it is. And NRT, Anti-Keratea, I'm not sure, sorry, I'm butchering your name there, but they're already saying that also routers burn out over time, so it's far from overkill. Indeed, you want to make sure that these things, and this is really a reliability thing as well, that these things can last for a long time. Usually, I don't know a whole lot of people who replace or upgrade their routers, I don't know, every year, every 2 years.
If it works.
Most people just buy a router and then they want to use it until it breaks or something, or until really run into issues, ideally.
Or the majority of the household has like faster devices.
Yeah. What chipset brand does it use? Qualcomm, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, can we remove this heatsink from the PCB?
No, I think that's one step too far. Because then I really don't know.
Screws?
Sorry?
Are there any screws you can
No.
loosen?
No, I don't think so.
Is there? Do you have a crowbar?
A crowbar, not, but I may be able to. Let's see if I can. Oh, yep.
Woohoo!
Well, there we go.
Holy nice. Wow.
So I mean, there's still a little bit of cover, like I'm not sure if this is not really a heat
it's for
spreader.
spacing that it touches. For pressure.
Yeah. Exactly.
This looks really nice. So Peter, do you have your mobile phone, and then can we use Iridium to check the chips?
I would have to check.
Ooh, I don't have a layer, do I?
No, but no, I don't think you have.
I can make one. Duplicate, close up one. Sorry guys, I'm going to.
And I'll need to connect to a different network
things
then.
Up. Video capture device, add source, add blah 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 blah. Add. I should see it here. This one. This one.
Yeah, mine is connected. Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah, you need to, I think, up the quality.
Transform, fit, up the quality. How do we do that?
In Iridium itself, because it looks like it's
Samsung Wi-Fi.
Ah.
Can I do something here? Oh, here is a menu. Video format. We go to 4K.
Go nuts. I mean, we're not gonna.
Looks in the preview much better. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
I mean, there you go. I'm not sure. I can zoom in.
It's upside down.
Yeah, well,
Qualcomm.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you could read.
Qualcomm IPQ 6010.
That's quite clear, isn't it? Sorry, because I'm holding it with my hand, guys. So sorry for the bit of shaking.
Are you a heavy drinker, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and these are other chips, also Qualcomm.
It's upside down.
Yeah, exactly. So this is upside down.
What's the big chip below there? Other side.
This one.
Oh.
I can't really tell.
Somebody removed the serial number to not get caught.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And these ones you can't see.
Oh, the one on top I meant. Yeah, that one. Probably that's the MPU, right?
I don't know.
No.
MXIC.
No, it's a different one.
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about these chips to be able to identify them. To be fair, but I mean, this is something you don't get to see every day.
Oh, they're saying that's the AI chip.
This one.
That's what I thought, but it doesn't. MXIC. Google.
Yeah. But I mean,
thank you for breaking the router to answer my question.
Yeah, no problem.
That's what we do.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty damn cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you compare it to a motherboard, it's relatively simplified. And like I mentioned, it's normally it sits upside down, let's say, in the chassis, right? So you tend to say or think that maybe this is the top because on the motherboard, for example, this would be the top, but this is actually on the bottom. So normally it's
giving quite a lot of interference, or how it's.
It is very well built, yeah. With again, with the thermal pads and the heatsink here, and as you can see, I mean, also in the thermal pads here, the contact of the chips, and you would expect that on the thermal pads, is quite good because you can see the imprint. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is it's an impressive product, I would say, especially, I mean, considering it's our very first router, gaming router. Yeah, I think we've done a really damn good job, and I hope you guys.
Okay, Peter, thanks. Mobile phone.
Sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys enjoy the product as well, and also the stream about it. So yeah, here you have it.
Moria has a good question. How many watts in idle?
Oh, I don't know. I saw reviews covering that. Wait, maybe I can look it up. There were some measurements, because I don't know. I don't think we specify it. Maybe we do.
So I was checking my what is it? How do you say that in English? Utility closet.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I was checking all my devices. And I was like, damn, how much power would this use?
Yeah, you've got a plug that you put in between the device and the wall socket, right?
Yeah, I didn't do that, but yesterday I was like, I was sharing photos with a friend of mine. He says, mine is a big mess, I need to clean it up. And I took a picture of mine and I said, hey, damn, there are quite a lot of devices, like different routers, my homey device for smart home, yeah, you name it, a server, a hard drive, storage. So yeah, probably it's using a lot of power, and it's 24 hours per day on.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see who did that. There was somebody who did a.
Maybe it's on a website.
It is, yeah, but which website?
Oh,
here it is. Here it is. PowerDraw. I mean, you can, if you want, you can switch to this.
Okay.
It's on Tech Power Up in this case.
Capture. Oh, Tech Power Up, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe then you need to remove the top. Oh, no, actually, maybe not.
Okay, that's what
anyway, yeah, exactly. So, standby idle, it's 7.3 watts, this router. And in normal operation, meaning I'm not sure what they did there in terms of what normal operation means, but if you want to know more about it, you can look it up. I'm guessing they just, let a couple of devices stream or something like that. And then it's 36 watts. So, yeah, that's 36 watts still. Then again, this type of thermal solution is not
so
that
Moria,
much of
if you go to www.techpowerup.com, maybe you can show the logo. Oh, the logo is over there in the statistics.
That's this logo.
Techpowerup.com, and then
yeah, or if you Google MSI RadiX AXE 6600 review,
that's similar to my laptop's.
This is probably the first, one of the first hits that will come up in Google as well. Yeah. And then under performance, I think it's performance review or something. It's this is included. Yeah. So yeah, maybe let's finish indeed with some more giveaways.
Doing that.
That's nice. If you have any questions about the product or anything like that, please let us know. Yeah, then we can still answer it.
Peter.
Yeah.
It looks awkward what you're doing there.
What?
Oh no, I need to go this way, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get tagged for violence, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. Last two winners for today.
Yes.
First nickname is Sky. Congrats, and the second nickname is for Peter. What the hell?
Friticu.
Friticu?
Fry TQ. Maybe that's
Fry
better.
TQ, yeah.
Fry TQ.
Yeah.
Anyway,
congrats
congratulations everybody. And yeah, maybe check the chat if there's any last questions.
Oh yeah.
We want to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to upgrade it with a Ryzen processor on it.
Yeah, I mean, then you would need like this kind of cooling with it, maybe. I mean, and I don't know if you want that in a router, to be fair, because then it will become that big as well. Are those black chips ROMs that store the firmware? Very similar looking to motherboards?
No, I think those are the radios.
Yeah, there are some. So
on
this side,
chips?
these are.
They're on top.
Underneath here are actually the radios.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe wait. We can, if you go to the capture, I have like a picture of the.
Capture this one.
Yeah. So I mean, this area here, the CPU indeed, and of course there are other black chiplets here that maybe some of them are have ROMs in them, I'm not sure.
No, he was referring to the
firmware.
two black one on the top. Not sure what they are.
I'm not sure, but I mean these ones are the radios, and at the moment on our sample these are covered by like a thermal cover. These ones. So you can't really see what's underneath, but here in this picture you can. So as you can see, there are a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going here. It is like a motherboard. It literally is kind of like a motherboard in the router. It has basically the same job as the motherboard in a PC, other than its purpose is to manage and direct traffic and generate signals, send, receive, and all that kind of stuff. And of course RGB.
Very important.
Yes.
I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, next week.
Talking about Ryzen.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice bridge.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice segue. Next week the AMD Ryzen 7000X3D and MAG X670E Tomahawk Wi-Fi.
New mainboard. So we're going to check it with a 3D cache CPU. Michiel is here. Martijn from AMD will be here. And Ruud will be here. So it will be maybe a bit technical. But I know it will be interesting.
At least a lot of knowledge being shared.
For sure.
For sure. So we hope you guys will be there as well. Thanks for joining everybody. Congrats to the winners. And we hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah, and next week we'll also let you know if this router lives again.
Yeah. Well, yes. And if it didn't, we'll have a minute of silence for it.
Michiel will have.
All right, thanks guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye.